Hello and welcome to a very special Formula 7 off-season podcast. For those who may be new to F7, we're an online racing league who compete in a variety of divisions across the F1 game series. We've not long finished our seventh season and are having an extended break as we wait for the new F1 23 to drop. We will have two very special guests today, one of which being CEO and founder Nathan Taylor. We'll be discussing not just the racing itself, but what it takes to set up races, the sense of community, and all the behind-the-scenes work that makes the league run as smoothly as it does. I have with me now CEO and league founder Nathan. Welcome on, mate.
Welcome. Hi, mate.
So first of all, just tell us a bit about how the idea came about to start the league, how you came about creating
it. So it was about 3 years ago. The pandemic had just started, and I was working alongside a friend of mine, and we both played Formula One, and we both raced in different leagues at the time. We didn't know this before we started working together. So we started racing in the same league, and it was a bit sort of lethargic around there and a bit boring. And we had this idea one day, and we said, the pandemic's just started. Let's create our own league and bring drivers together, and maybe we can do it a bit better than anybody else does it. So that's what we did. We got started straight away. The other league owner, Ed, he started designing all the logos and stuff like that. We created the Discord, and then we started inviting drivers. So first of all, to try and get drivers into the league, we just went into sort of multiplayer games, started sending message after message. We must have sent 100 messages, and it must have took us 3 months before we even got 20 drivers to join us. And it just sort of snowballed from there. A lot more drivers started to join. And then we had an up and running league, and we did the season one, and it just went from there.
Yeah, it kind of comes on to my next question. So, kind of in the early days of F7, were there any teething problems that you had to kind of overcome and work through?
Oh, absolutely, loads, hundreds actually. Every single weekend was a learning experience. None of us had ever done anything like this before. We had to bring a team on board as well, because there's just so much work that goes into it, and especially when you're sort of doing different divisions, there can only be so much that one person can do. And when you're keeping track of every single detail on spreadsheets, from the standings to pole positions to fastest laps to driver of the days to everything that you put together, and then the Discord and getting into the attendance and looking at the incidents between the races, after the races. And so we had to get a team on board and bring in stewards and admins and league directors, and that was just all at the start. And then you get your 20 drivers, and some drivers won't turn up, so there was a lot of problems that went into it. And obviously we were new to that as well, the commentary as well, starting off. It was a new experience for a lot of people. So it was just getting through them sort of first hurdles and getting into the flow of things.
Yeah, absolutely. All the steps you've taken has definitely taken the league to a new level. But onto the racing itself. Tell us a bit about the different divisions within the league, and tell us a bit about the standard of racing we've got here.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. So we have drivers from all over the world. I think we have something like 7 from Norway, 15 from the Netherlands, 4 from USA, 30 from the UK. There's just hundreds. We have over 240 active drivers. We race every single Sunday, so there's a division for everybody. It's not about how quick you are. This is a community for people who enjoy racing and who enjoy Formula One, to come together all from around the world and race together. We have the bronze, silver and gold divisions on a Sunday. They are run by different league directors and admins. And then we have on Monday, we have Fantasy F7. So that's your team, your logo, your livery, which is a great concept. And then on a Wednesday, we have Formula 7 Realistic. That is team principles, driver salaries, team budgets. A lot of work and spreadsheets go into that. And the different divisions means that anybody is able to race, and anybody from around the world can come in and join. And the standard of driving, when you get these guys from around the world who come in, and they're not just Formula One players, they're Formula One fans. And we have people from around the world. We had somebody from Bristol go over to the Netherlands and meet their friend. And that is all down to this community that is able to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, I race in the silver division alongside yourself, and I can't speak highly enough of the respect given on track, along with that sense of competitiveness.
Yeah, I mean, they're racing alongside some of these drivers and the respect because they're not just on track racing against another driver. They're racing against their friend, their colleague, their teammates' friends, and that's the community that we've driven for is not just, oh, I'm racing against somebody else. You're racing against your friends and the respect is there and there's boundaries and it's so clean when they race against each other.
Moving on for a minute, let's talk about the sense of community within the league. So obviously you've been here from the very start. I've been involved about a year or so. And for me, there's just a massive sense of togetherness and having that feeling of an F7 family. I assume you do agree with that.
Oh, absolutely, Matt. And as you know as well, being part of the F7 family, we've always said that we have mental health pages in the Discord where we can support one another. You get a lot of young lads, even young girls as well, but mainly young lads that come through. And these lads are anywhere from 14 upwards. So a lot of these lads are going through different points in their life. And to get away and break away from that and turn up on a Sunday and just forget everything that might be going on in their lives, the stress of work, the stress of school, and to turn up on a Sunday, forget all that and just be able to compete against your friends on an online environment is what we've strived for. And that's sort of the F7 family coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. It can definitely be used as a distraction away from things in your personal life. I've definitely experienced that before.
Yeah, definitely. I'm the same.
Yeah. So moving on, it would be disrespectful not to mention all the stewards, admin, league directors, commentators, and obviously the many other roles that are taken on by volunteers like yourself. How much work does it take to get 5 or so races up and running every week?
Oh, it's so much work, but it's so rewarding. You have the league directors, stewards, admins, who take time out of their day for nothing but enjoyment. They don't get paid, they don't make any money to run it all and put in so many hours of work so that somebody can turn up on a Sunday, Monday, or Wednesday and just turn up and race is what it's all about. The what we've got there is an amazing team, but it's also not possible without the drivers. The drivers are the ones that turn up and the ones that race. But the work that goes on behind the scenes and the incidents that we have to go through and the tracking of all the standings and the drivers, the driver numbers, all the statistics, all makes it worthwhile when you turn up on a Sunday and then lights go out and you're able to race.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I wanted to dip into the topic of commentary. You're already kind of seen as the voice of F7, given how you commentate on the Gold Division and how enthusiastic and engaging you are when you're on the commentary. Talk to us a little bit about that. Is the commentary side something you enjoy?
Commentary is something I absolutely love, and if it wasn't for my partner as well, who encourages me with the commentary side of things, because I wasn't always good when it first started. You're very nervous, you make mistakes a lot of the time, but somebody always said to me, when you do commentary, you've got to be a duck on water. And it's always stuck with me that because a duck's legs might be flapping under the water to keep them afloat, but on top of the water, they look very elegant and they don't look like they're doing much work. And that's exactly what you've got to do when you do commentary is you've got to be the duck above the water and don't let them see you flapping below it. And so if you do make mistakes, don't make it obvious. If you do, make a few hiccups in the race doing commentary or say something wrong, you just got to flow with it. Don't let them know that you made a mistake. Let them see the duck above water. Don't let them see you below it. I would encourage anybody to take up commentary because I feel like it gains you so many life skills, even in your career, in your real life. When you really hit that first hurdle, you get them nerves. But after a while, you start to become more confident and you can use that in your life skills as well. When you're talking to, 50, 60, 70 people online and controlling the narratives of a whole race, you can take that out of there and that confidence can build and you can use it in your own personal life as well.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I love that analogy of the duck under the water.
No, I've always used that. Anybody that does commentary, I always say to them, don't worry about making mistakes. Just be the duck above the water. Don't let you see them flapping below it. And that's all I ever say to them.
Well, a massive shout out to yourself and all the volunteers who make sure we get to come along and race every week. I think I speak for everybody in F7 when I say thanks for all the work that goes into making what the league what it is.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Matt. And it honestly, it is impossible without the team and the drivers that show up and commit and turn up every Sunday. Because when you put in so much work, and all you have to do is turn up on a Sunday, Monday, or Wednesday, and just turn up and race, we wouldn't it wouldn't be possible without them drivers turning up and racing and being in that part of the community and having that drive that they have as well.
Just to finish, obviously we've got F123 coming out very soon. Had some lobby and cross-play issues on last year's game. What are you hoping from this year's game? And do you think there could be a little bit of a mix-up on the grid with some drivers quicker to adapt than others?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there, Matt. And especially when any new game comes out, new Formula One game, there's always going to be differences with the crossplay issues. And obviously, EA taking over the game. This is now the second season. I hope to see this sort of crossplay issues eradicated. So I'm guessing to see a new sort of season and easier sort of lobbies to maintain. But also with the new game, I expect to see some different levels of competition. There's always going to be people that pick it up a lot quicker than others and sort of get to the controls a little bit sooner. So I think we'll see a lot of different changes, and that's why we do make changes in the first 3 races of any season, because you do see that difference when it comes to a new Formula One game.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Expect a couple of red flags with me in there, Silver, as well.
Yeah, and me as well.
I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, mate. Best of luck in both the next season and on the new game.
No problem. I really appreciate that, Matt. Thank you very much.
That was an exclusive interview with Nathan Taylor, CEO of Formula 7. Some great insights into the racing and also how the league is run behind the scenes. Our next guest is a very special one. Our next guest is a 2-time F7 Gold World Champion. Bristol boy, Ben Wright, or B Wright as he goes by online, is a staple of F7. Not just being a top driver in 3 different divisions, but also commentating on the Silver Division, as well as other roles within the league. Ben, welcome onto the podcast, mate.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Right, so let's get straight into it. Let's talk about your racing personally. Champion twice in gold, and this season you've added to that, winning the realistic division on top of that. How does it feel being one of the very elites within F7 when the whole league is of such a good standard?
To be fair, mate, it's absolutely amazing to sort of be in the position I am, sort of within the league, and also to be winning the championships the way I have, 2-time champion, which is absolute pleasure in the F7, as well as being a realistic champion. But I'm one of the top boys up there, and I think for me to be carrying on in this sort of way, it's a real pleasure and honor. It takes a lot of work to be in the position I am. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of dedication. I have your time, mate. But no, yeah, it certainly feels amazing.
Yeah, of course, very well deserved. You're one of the top boys there. You've had some fierce rivals recently: Ties, Maxi Block, Fantanis, to name a few. Have you got like a favourite driver you like battling with, or someone where it gets particularly heated?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few battles with them all. I think because of them all being in the division and how close to racing is actually in the gold division as well. So you got probably my favourite to go up against with is probably Maxi, and then after that it would be the likes of names that you said, Atis and Fanfanis as well. Sort of Fanfanis is more of a rival where you have to just take him as he comes and let him make the mistakes that he does as well. But no, I think my favourite one is definitely Maxi Block. He's a true champion himself as well. He's been a champion sort of in gold himself as well. But yeah, that's probably my favourite to be going up against, mate.
Yeah, you two are definitely two of the very best.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's brilliant.
With a division of gold's quality, practice is obviously very important. How much practice will you put in during the week, typically before a race?
Yeah, normally I put in a few hours every day. So I go to work and then come home, and then I'll sort of dedicate my evenings to just chilling and seeing where I can be improving on each track, every track that we do coming up, leading up to a race weekend. And then sort of do a few laps on time trial, see where you're at with that. And then you go into single player, and then eventually go on to online. And then what you want to do is you want to keep putting in consistent lap times, seeing where you can improve, see where you can't improve, and just you want to be on the limit all the time, mate. That is probably the most thing that you can do is just be there on the limit, and that's how you need to be in the gold division. Because if you're not the best of your ability, you're not going to be able to beat these gold drivers. So with me being a 2-time champion, I have a lot to prove and a lot to be battling against these boys. Yeah.
It sounds like you've got quite a good balance between not over practicing as well.
That's important.
You might think
you don't want to put too much in because you just overload yourself with it. It's it's important to have the practice there, and it's also important to have your normal life as well, because it's not just all about sort of the racing and being on the PlayStation every day. It's also about having a personal life, like you said. But no, to be in the position I am, it's very good.
So, unfortunately, you were away for the start of this season and joined late into the gold division. So, Tees took the gold world championship home. How confident are you at taking that back going into the new season and the new game?
Yeah, mate. So this is a good question, Matt. To be fair, I'm very confident. I'm liking the videos that's been released on the new game, and I'm really excited to get underway again. I want to sort of come back at Tees and all the other guys to win this championship again. I will be trying to be at the best of my ability. I'm really going to be dedicated. I want to be the old Be Right and Ben everyone else knows. For me, it's you want to be the very best, you know. So for me to be trying to take that world championship, it's going to be massive, and I'm going to be very confident. With me being away as well, obviously, as we know, my girlfriend Micah, she lives in the Netherlands, and obviously I go to see her from time to time, but I take my PlayStation there as well. But no, it's I'm going to be up there, and I've got a lot to prove. And if anyone wants to come and tune in when this season starts, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, the gold grid got so much to look out for, and